Okay, Kuzankula children, today we'll learn a chemistry lesson on classification and nomenclature of alcohol. So I brought you this video lesson to you. Since I'm teaching from home, it may not be very comfortable, and my attire today is a little bit different. Please excuse me for that. So just to make the lesson short and to the point, I'm going to directly start the lesson. We have been learning about the properties of alcohol in our last Zoom lesson. Now today I bring you this classification and nomenclature of alcohol. Now firstly we'll talk about classification of alcohol, then we'll talk about nomenclature of alcohol. Now there is certain difference between classification and nomenclature. Classification, like under what type the alcohol are grouped or they are named, and then now when it comes to nomenclature, it is naming of alcohol based on their the position of OH functional group and the kind of the number of carbon atoms present in it. So firstly, let's talk about classification. So I have this we say monohydrate alcohol. So under classification of alcohol, alcohol is basically classified under three categories. First one, we call it as monohydrate alcohol. These alcohols contain one OH group attached to alkane. Then, meaning here, monohydrate alcohol will always have one OH group, because we know that alcohol is an alkane where one hydrogen is removed. So here, and second one, the characteristic second one is we have to replace one hydrogen atom of an alkane by OH group. You know that our alkane, the general formula of alkane is CnH2n plus 2. So when you are converting this alkane into alcohol, what we do basically is CnH2n plus 1 with OH group. So here we go to remove one hydrogen atom of an alkane and replace with OH group. So such alcohol where there is one OH group and one hydrogen atom is replaced in an alkane is called monohydrate alcohol. Then let's go to the example. Here I have the example. Ethanol and methanol, they are called monohydrate alcohol. You can see here in the example, here one OH group is there. So here one hydrogen of the alkane is removed and replaced by OH group. Second, here in the methanol, you can see here OH group is attached and one hydrogen from the alkane is removed. So you can say ethanol and methanol with one OH group is known as monohydrate alcohol. So that's the example. Example of monohydrate alcohol is ethanol and methanol. Okay. Now second type of alcohol, second category of alcohol, under classification we call it as dihydrate alcohol. What's it? Dihydrate alcohol. This alcohol contains two OH group attached to an alkene. Then two hydrogen atom from alkane is replaced by two OH group. Remember here, two OH group. Two hydrogen atom is replaced. So such type of alcohol where there are two OH group replaced for two hydrogen atom of alkane is known as dihydrate alcohol. Okay, then let's look at the example. The first example here we have got, for example, here you can see this is the hydrocarbon chain. So two OH group here, 1, 2. So since this one is having 5 carbon atom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we say pentane 2,3-diol. Why we say 2 and 3? Later on when we are talking about nomenclature, there I'll be teaching you. So here you can focus on 2 OH group. So when there are 2 OH group, we say dihydric alcohol. Usually diol will be there. Now another example here I have. So here also there are 2 OH group attached to this hydrocarbon chain. Okay, so butane 2,3-diol, or which is also called as 2,3-butene-diol, butane diol. Okay, let's keep it over here. Now let's go to another category, the third category of alcohol. Okay, this third category of alcohol is called trihydrate alcohol. This alcohol contains 3 OH group attached to the alkene. So here we have to replace 3 hydrogen atom with the 3 OH group. So when 3 OH group are found in the hydrocarbon chain in an alkane, we say trihydrate alcohol. Okay, let's look at an example of trihydrate alcohol. Here we have got pentane 2,3,4-triol, or we can say 2,3,4-pentane triol. So you can see here 3 OH group are attached in this hydrocarbon chain, or we can say in an alkane where 3 hydrogen atoms are removed and replaced by OH group. Okay, let it be here, the example. So these were the 3 categories of alcohol. So alcohol is classified into 3 categories, that is monohydrate alcohol, dihydrate, trihydrate alcohol. And in monohydrate there will be 1 OH group, in dihydrate there will be 2 OH group, and in trihydrate there will be 3 OH group. Now let us look at the nomenclature. This part of alcohol, we have just completed the classification. Now nomenclature. Nomenclature meaning naming, okay, giving the names of different types of alcohol. So we have got 2 ways of nomenclature. The first one is called common naming system, in a very common way. So in this common naming system, the lower monohydrate alcohol, the general formula ROH, are named as alkyl alcohol. So we use that word alkyl, then alcohol. So the alkyl group is named first. So whichever may be the alkyl group, like methyl, ethyl, propyl, butyl. So alkyl group will be named first, then it will be followed by writing alcohol. For example, ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol. Are you getting me? Okay, let's go to some examples of common naming system. You can see here, okay, I've got the first one here. The alcohol is CH3OH. So we write alkyl group methyl, then common name will be methyl alcohol. So it is called methyl alcohol, CH3OH. You know, 1 carbon here. So with OH we say methyl. Methyl alcohol is one example in the common way of naming alcohol. Now, okay, let it be here. We'll come back later. Then second example I have for you is, we know now you can predict, it can be ethyl alcohol. So you can see here, alkyl group, common name. Alcohol, alkyl group, common name. So CH3, CH2OH, ethyl alcohol. Okay, another example here. Then we can go for what? This is propyl alcohol. Why? Because we have got these 3 carbons here. 1, 2, 3. So CH3, CH2, CH2OH. Propyl alcohol. So we are basically dealing with the common naming system now. Okay, then the fourth example, one more, the last one. Alcohol, we have alkyl group, then common name. This is butyl alcohol. So you can CH3, CH2, 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 OH. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon, butyl. So butyl alcohol. So this is how alcohol are commonly named. Alcohols are commonly named. So basically what we got to remember here in common naming system is that there will be, the alcohol will be, okay, there will be alkyl group, then we just simply write alcohol. First we identify the alkyl group, it can be ethyl, methyl, propyl, butyl, okay. So based on that, then we just follow alcohol. Now the most important and the most commonly or technically used one is called IUPAC system of nomenclature. IUPAC stands for International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. So this is what is actually followed. Okay, so here in this system, and this is the important one, in this system alcohols are generally named as alkanol. So you can see OL here. Alkane, because we know alcohol is a derivative of alkane by removing one hydrogen. So alkanol, by replacing E of alkane with that of and adding the suffix OL. So we are removing E from alkane and then replacing with OL. So when we name in this way, we say this is the IUPAC system of naming alcohol. For example, alkanol, ethanol, methanol, butanol. So when it is having OL. Okay, let me place it over here. Now let's look at the step by step how IUPAC naming of alcohol is done step by step. Step 1, numbering the carbon atom in a main chain or parent chain. So we have to number. So there will be a chain of carbon. For example, here you can see the chain of carbon. So you have to identify the chain, then number the chain. But when you are numbering the chain, there are certain rules. Spot the longest continuous carbon chain having OH group. So we have to spot the longest one, longest carbon chain which has got the OH group. Then number carbon chain with OH group from the lowest. So when you are numbering, we have to number it from the lowest side. I mean OH group, where does it fall? From which side it becomes the lowest? So we have to look at the lowest one. So did you get me? Step 1, numbering the carbon atom in a main chain or a parent chain. Okay. Okay, here it goes. Then let's look at step 2. Okay, the example here, for example, when you are numbering it, okay, I'll show you first here. Here, CH3, CH2, CH2, OH. So this becomes the carbon chain. Now we are numbering 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, 3. Why? Because if you number from this side, what happens is the OH gets the lowest number. So that is the main trick here. Okay, step 1. Now step 2, second step. Okay, step 2 here, identify the root word, suffix and prefixes. Now you know root word like pentane, hexane, okay, methane, ethane, eth, meth, prop, but. So these are the root words, and suffix are usually after. Okay, then prefixes are before. The first numbers are prefix, then after the root word, when the root word is followed by certain names or numbers, it is called suffix. Now look at here. First step, in step 2, what we have to do, OH number attached to carbon chain is prefixed to the name of the parent alkane, and the E ending of alkane is replaced by suffix OL. So what you do here is the OH number attached to the chain is prefixed. For example, we have this example. Okay, where is it? Okay, later on I'll show you here. Okay, the OH number here you can see here. So it is prefixed. Okay, step 2, just as of now you remember, identify the root word, suffix and prefixes. Then let's go to the second part here of step 2 only. We are still dealing with step 2. So name the substituent along with its number. For example, methyl. So here we don't have one here, later on it will come example. So when in one of the carbon chain, if CH3 is attached, then we say methyl. That substituent becomes methyl. Then if there are more than one OH group, then it gets the suffixes such as diol and triol. Because if the OH, like we have already seen in classification, right? So diol, triol will be given when there is more than one OH group. Diol is given when there are two OH groups. Triol to when there are three OH groups. Now with the retention of E, for example here you can see 2,3-pentane E-diol, pentanediol, pentanediol, 2,3-pentanediol. So this is how we give the step 2, identify the root word, suffix and prefixes. Then the last step, step 3, the third step, okay, is called naming the alcohol. Now it gets its name. Now we are giving the name of the alcohol. So while naming, we have these three things to take care: prefix plus root word plus suffix. So example here you can see CH3, CH, CH2, CH, CH2, CH3. You can see here, now numbering is done, the second step. We are doing from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not from here. Why? Because when we do from this side, OH group gets the lowest number. Now you see here, the substituent is CH3. So CH3 is in the 5th carbon chain. So we give 5-methyl, prefix here, 5-methyl is the root word, then 3-hexanol is the suffix, 3-hexanol. So this is how we name. Now let's see some examples. Okay, I've got a few examples here. Okay, example 1, CH3, CH2, 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 OH. So here, you see here, numbering is done from this side because this OH group gets the lowest. So here we don't have any prefix here, 1-butanol, 1-butanol. No substituent here, remember, there is no substituent here. Now let's see another example with substituent. Here, the second example, CH3, CH, CH, CH2, CH3. Now you can see substituent here, CH3 is in number 2, then OH is in number 3. We can number from this side or this side. Why? Because OH is in the 3rd. Even if you bring from here also it will be 3. Even if you bring from this side also it will be 3. So it is getting the lowest. So it will be, now you can see here, 2-methyl. Yes, because the substituent is in second. So prefix is 2-methyl root word 3-pentanol. So this is second example. Okay, then the last example here, when you are dealing with more than one OH. So we can see 2,3-pentanediol. Why? Because you can see here numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. OH is in second here. If you number from here 1, 2, 3, so OH will be in the 3rd one. So the lowest should be assigned here. So you can see here 2,3-pentanediol. So did you get me? Yes. Okay. Now where should I put this? Okay, here. Okay. So with this we are done. Thank you. And then now just to wrap up classification, we have got monohydrate alcohol, dihydric alcohol, trihydrate alcohol. Then in nomenclature, common naming system, where we give the alkyl group and write alcohol. For example, ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, propyl alcohol, and all these things. Now, when it comes to IUPAC naming system, okay, this is the most important one. So we are we write alcohol in the form of alkanols. Okay, so here in step 1 we have to spot the longest carbon chain and number them. Okay, and we have to make sure that the OH group gets the lowest number, and then we have to look at the constituents, substituents. Okay, and then in step 2 we have to identify the root word, suffix and prefixes. So for example, here you can see here 1 2 3 4 5. So this becomes the numbering. Okay, and then we name it as 2,3-pentanediol. Why diol? Because there are two OH group. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you very much.